Hey guys, Rex here. So how do we avoid fear in troublous times? You like that intro? Kind of scary, kind of serious, like, how do we avoid fear in troublous times? Hold on, let me get the angle appropriately. How do we avoid fear in troublous times? Pretty dramatic, right? You see, that question is hiding a statement. Did you notice that? That question, how do we avoid fear, is assuming we're not supposed to have fear. Ever think about that one? Did you know that fear was programmed into our brains by the Creator for a reason? Like, for example, if you're about to step off a cliff, fear kicks in and says, wait a minute here, no, let's not do that. It's one example. Just like pain was, right? Like, let's say you break your leg, and I think I'll just keep walking. Oh, wait a minute here. If you keep walking, that bone that broke can shred and make you bleed to death. The femoral artery. Oh, one's handy. That hurt. It told me not to do it. These all have their proper place, just like happiness does, which means everything's going perfect. Now I'm going to make you feel happy so you don't screw it up. You should only be happy if everything's going pretty good. Like, okay, the thing is operating. Now don't move a bit. Let's be happy, which makes you comfortable and all that stuff. Right? If you're uncomfortable, there's a reason. Better look why you're uncomfortable. Don't just try to solve the discomfort right away. If there's pain, don't just keep walking on it like I do all the time. I can tell you stories about that one. Oh, I'll probably be fine. Oh, and then you're like a wreck. You know what I mean? Fear is the same deal. They sell stuff to make you not be afraid. Like, for example, maybe this kind of deal, right? Oh, that'll make me not scared, right? Right, guys? Maybe some, like, liquid courage. You could drink some of that and not be afraid. There's a million things that, like, tough guy motorcycle shirts and scary, loud motorcycles, and, like, you're projecting so much, like, superiority that you're not scared now, you see? All kinds of psychological feedback loops you can tap into to kind of avoid the fear thing and channel that biochemical energy into something different. Let it turn to something else, right? But it's a legitimate question I'm bringing up. Should we be afraid? Well, how do we answer this one? Well, what's important to you, man? What's important to you? If your goal in life is to be comfortable at whatever it takes, yes, absolutely be afraid of the stuff that's coming. Guaranteed you should be afraid. Your comfort, I'm going to guess, pretty soon might be removed. I mean, not talking about the anxiety we have now, about the fear of comfort being removed, but when it actually is removed, yeah, I mean, should he be, afraid of that? Yeah, probably, man. And when it is removed, there's a reason. Like, oh man, I'm sitting outside the wintertime, freezing, and I have no house now. I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, that's a clue to, like, go find shelter and a fire and stuff, man. Basic human needs must be met, right? And so these things and feelings will kick in as, like, lights on a control panel. Like, oh man, bing, bing, like your engine light. Check engine. No, it's probably fine. It's probably not, actually. Better check. So, if your goal in life is to always be comfortable, yeah, you should be pretty damn afraid of that. And that fear may or may not motivate you to be able to accomplish all the things you need to maintain comfort through the deal. Now, there are certain people in the world that will be relatively well situated if everything goes down the way I think it will, which we'll cover in, I think I'm going to do this Patreon deal. And then I can actually talk to you guys, not like all filtering my stuff, okay? I think I'm actually going to do it. A lot of bros have been like, dude, where the hell's your Patreon? We want to hear what you actually have to say. Yeah, I'm working on it, man. I got it almost the way it's set up. But, like, it's important to ask these questions, man. Because what I think is going to happen is going to be rough. Really, really, really bad. in terms of preserving your comfort, okay? If that's your goal in life, I'm already used to not being comfortable because my health got shredded. So maybe that's a blessing in a way, because I'm used to not being comfortable for a while, right? But there are people on the earth, I've been around a little bit. Go to a third world country. No power, no plumbing, no furnace, no security, besides just a couple people that lived with you in the little town. And they got to work their ass off to not starve. And like farmers in the Himalaya mountains. Like there could be a global thermonuclear war and they wouldn't even notice. And like they'd find out a month later, you know, from some dude that came in from the town where they have internet service, be like, hey, America just like got wiped off the map by this huge like nuclear firestorm, and then China took it real bad, and now the armies are moving over here. And they'd be like, huh, what the hell? America, that's that big country, right? That one that was like in charge of everything for the last little while here? Oh, what the hell? That's too bad. So, oh well. Hey, did you get the corn in yet? You know, they're or like, hey, did you fertilize the whatever field yet? And you got to go repair the terrace over there. You know, they literally would not. It would not even faze them because they're set up in such a way, old school, third world, which is brilliant, actually connected with the earth type stuff, right? Which is where we all should kind of start maybe trying to slowly move towards, or quickly move towards whatever is within your ability, right? That's kind of probably the key, is living like that, because then all that stuff can happen. It doesn't matter. It's like, you don't need Walmart. You're growing all your stuff. You don't need clothes. You can take a deer and tear its skin off and make underwear out of it like I do, right? So if you have that and you become comfortable with that lifestyle, which I really thought it was very comfortable, actually, when I was over there, and other places that are like that, or when I was a beach bum, I actually really thought that was pretty comfortable because the stress was down. Why was the stress down? Because I was totally like, oh man, what if I lose my job? Wait a minute, I don't have a job. I live on the beach and I eat shit that comes out of the water. I did that for a while, man. I lived in the back of my truck. Oh man, what if I don't pay the bills on this topper on my pickup truck? Oh wait, I did. Oh, it's my top, and if I can drive around with this. I lived in my 83 Chevy Scottsdale box of my truck. Right, when I was a young man, you know, I got out of a certain job and I was like, man, that was horrible. And so then I went and traveled the country and romantically was a beach bum. But if you become comfortable with that, that's the best way to preserve your comfort, is to adjust your comfort level to something that's way more sustainable. What other things? Well, let's say your goal in life is not comfort, but it's to live through it all. You know, like to survive, like forever, through the middle of the battle, right? Like, let's say that you're not willing to give up your current comforts, but you want to survive somehow. Well, if your only goal in life is to eat and drink water and then poop and pee and then repeat, you know, repeat, rinse and wash and all that stuff, right? Yeah, you should be scared too. Because, like, everyone's mortal. Everyone is going to drop dead. And there's no way in hell, with what's coming, that I think on this continent, man, I don't know of any place around here that you could really, really, really totally disappear and not have the kind of conflict that would probably end you at some point. Can you prolong it? You bet. But, like, if your goal is to just, like, survive, and that's it, I actually feel sorry for you, man. That's not really existing. You're not existing any more than a freaking caterpillar. Or, I mean, nothing against caterpillars, or like the, I don't know, muskrat. They just poop and eat and make baby muskrats, and the greater, higher things in life, you know, the connections and stuff like that, they are more of a machine than we are in a lot of ways. And that's anatomically verified if you're a science guy and you don't like all the religious talk, right? We got this thing called the frontal lobe. A lot of shit going on up there, by the way, in case you didn't notice. Do muskrats appreciate poetry? Well, maybe poetry of certain things. I know beavers do, but the poetry of laying sticks together and such, right? But then again, if the goal is to live forever and survive any apocalypse, how much stress do you think a muskrat or a beaver would have if that was their goal? Like, I must survive any possible scenario at any given time. Muskrats can be stressed out because there might be a big fat sweaty guy with a rifle sitting on top of the riverbank who doesn't like muskrats and blows them out of there. Or beavers, like, oh, some guy that declared war on the beavers with a thermal and all this is like, those beavers like ate my apple trees, I'll kill them all. Beavers, people like the little animals. This is comedy, by the way, okay? Well then, that beaver, if it was smart to realize that, like, hey, I got a lot of enemies up there. Oh my God, they're just stress out, right? Yeah, the beaver should be scared then, if that's his goal, is to, like, some unreasonable, unattainable goal, right? That's the common deal. It's like, there's this one guy one time who told parables and stuff, and he said, behold the birds of the air. Do they fly around all stressed about their pocketbook? Do they fly around worried about, like, oh man, what if my feathers wear out? What am I going to wear to the dance, to the birdie dance? They're pretty well clothed. They're pretty well clothed already from somebody? Are they run around wondering what they're going to eat, or they just go be a bird? Like, hey, we'll figure it out, man. The Father will take care of us. He's taking care of us this whole time. And if it's not His will that I should chirp every day, then one day I'll quit chirping. And I guess that's how that deal works. Because they have total trust. Because they're wise. You can learn a lesson from them critters and from the parables told by that one guy one time. Okay? Important. What if your goal is to, like, preserve a certain ideal that we're married to? This is a tough one for me because I kind of get this one. Like, oh man, I really like this certain 3 colors, and the history attached to it, and these guys with triangle hats. Whew, that's a tall order now. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but you got to realize that that's a tall order. Because, like the founding fathers, it's a different planet now, bro. Different planet. I don't know anybody like that. I know like 3 guys like that. Like the guys with triangle hats. That actually live up to them deals and are equipped to do anything or maintain that. It's just a whole different deal. True story. Like, the very best we have in this generation is like not even anything in terms of like well of fortitude, toughness, intelligence, discipline, connections to like want to like network and do all these things. The amount of magic that happened to put this country together in the first place was a miracle. And I think that miracle was only allowed to happen so that it would prove a point around these days that eventually even something that great would be subject to the thermodynamics of man's folly and sin. And here we are. Can man govern himself if allowed to be free? Only if they're moral and just. The second they're not, it'll be the most horrific desolation ever known upon the earth. And here we go. So, should you have fear if that's your ideal? Yes. Because it doesn't, only like 1% of the guys or whatever, 3%, back then actually did stuff. Yeah, that might be true, but the other giant majority of people were at least self-sustaining and weren't totally evil continuously. Every thought of all their spirit being evil continually like we have now. I know how much I struggle just from being exposed to the world. And I don't like evil. I do not want to serve evil, man. But just being drenched and splashed all over me from being in the midst of Babylon the whole time. You can't swing a cat at the chicken wing place without having some horrific shit projected at you from one of the 53, I counted 53 television sets in the chicken wing place in town, man. 53 TVs, all just pumping Babylon sludge straight into your brain. Commercials, flashing lights, like, woo, the little lady, like, there's no way you can get it out of your brain. It's just terrible. So should you have fear if your goal is to keep the republic going? Yep, I think so. Because I don't see that happening to restore it in any degree as good as it used to be. Should we fight to maintain what we got? Yes. I think so. I swore an oath a couple times for it anyways. Might as well, do that. But the fight there, though, here's the thing. The fight is not with the weaponries or the pointy sticks or yelling at stuff. The fight is to heal the culture. America was born on guns and whiskey, I get it, but it was founded on solid well of fortitude. The Rock. You know who The Rock is, people? I'm not talking the pro wrestler, although at one point he will be, I don't know what move it is where they turn the guy upside down and slam him into the ground and he's out. But that's what he's going to do to us pretty soon. Okay? So, yeah, we should be scared because if that's our goal, because we do not have that moral foundation we used to, and that's the only cure. That's the actual, and nobody seems to get that. There's a few, I talk to them, there's a few that get that, but it's like beating your face. It's like going to Las Vegas. I hate slot machines. They're terrible. What a waste of money. Who would play on a slot machine? And they're like, I'm going to declare war on slot machines. And you just run into the first casino you see, of which there's more than a few, and you just run into the first slot machine you see, which there's more than a few of them too, and you just start smashing your face into the slot machine. There's glass flying everywhere. There's like gears and little levers and blinking lights and the little cherry that spins like stuck into your face, and you have to go to the hospital. Well, they can replace the slot machine or fix it, and you killed one out of a bazillion slot machines. And actually, they'd probably make a new slot machine based on how stupid you were when you smashed your face into that one. How about that? Now you're really going to be angry. If you don't like slot machines in Vegas, then you need to go to Vegas and change the culture to like what America used to be. To where people didn't want to just throw their money at a giant blinking robot for the mobsters or whatever the hell's popular around there. Like, if that's the culture, I don't know what to say, man. Like, maybe if the culture was more centered on old school stuff, like growing crops, being more Amish type deal, right? And I know, right? Every group's got their thing. But the solution is not to just smash your face into the leaves on the tree. You got to go for the trunk. You got to go for the trunk of the problem, and you got to cure it. And you don't necessarily have to chop the trees down. You can oh man, this tree is just, it's not doing as good as I thought. Better get out the chainsaw immediately. Maybe give it a little time. Maybe give it some fertilizer. Maybe be like, oh wait, the neighbor's spraying Roundup all over the damn place. Let's have them wait until the wind dies down because it's going on my tree. Or whatever's going on, right? Or oh man, a beaver ate half of it down. Full circle. The infinity beaver is now complete. So should it be scared? Well, it depends on what you are trying to maintain. As for me and my house, I just don't want to get my mission wrong. Am I scared that I'm going to get my mission wrong? Yeah, because it's hard and it's tough and I get exhausted and it's not always clear exactly what the guy's supposed to exactly do or say. Although the base is clear, I mean, I know what he said to do. It's all written down. Thank him for that. But exactly how I'm supposed to flesh that out it's hard when you're attached to flesh, right? So my fear is to not live up to the challenge of what I was put here to do. Whatever that might be, which is probably part of it is talking to you folks. Another big, giant, huge part of it is my family, right? The obvious stuff, which is not so obvious all the time to most of us. If most of us got our priorities straight, you find out that oh man, that lift ain't near as heavy as I thought. If you think you are going to type on the keyboard enough times and emote enough, let me tell you something, at the keyboard, 40 and 50-year-old dudes just emoting. I like that word. Brother brought it up. I'll tell that guy he's stupid. You're going to give yourself gray hairs, bro, and you're not going to make a dent on any of it because it's all in the computer land, which is made by Satan. For the purpose of you plugging your brain and soul into it, and then shorts you out. Done. But if we all realized our actual jurisdiction in life, your house, right, start over, you, me, that's the first thing that we need to get worried about. Let's make that thing not suck. Okay, how about, like, can I provide and protect and guide my family? That'll keep you busy. A lot of people are really challenged in that category, right? This might be hard. Some people are more blessed. If that deal's totally squared away, okay. How about my immediate proximity, my actual sphere of influence? Not my pretend one, my actual one, right? People you actually have a rapport with. Might be only 5 or 10 of them. Or 3. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Or a bazillion. Not many people are going to have more than that. I mean, as many people watch this video, like my actual sphere of influence, I can only plant seeds. It's up to you guys, you know, if you're going to be a rock or a dirt or freaking by the road or what. I don't know if you're good soil or not. I'm just throw seeds. But we have to, like, and I heard it taught by a really good teacher a couple months ago or a month ago. One of the most powerful tools we can have is the ability to know where our jurisdiction ends. Like, the ability to know what we can't control. Because you can just let that shit go. I can turn on the news all day and watch all that stuff going on. Yeah, you know, the problem there with them hypersonic missiles is we need this other system here. And our whatever low Earth orbit technology was given by the Clintons, you know, and they're terrible. Like, yes, that's part of the test called life. But how the hell is that in my jurisdiction? And it sort of is, in a very tiny part, shared amongst 350 million other goofballs around here. Because you can vote and be politically active, which we should. And I'm telling you, I'm probably the most annoying guy I know to my representatives. Trust me. Ask some of them. They came over to my house, and I let them have it. They love me still. And the ones, like, I'm not saying not to be active, okay? I'm just saying realize what those actual limitations are. Throw out the seed of truth, smile, and walk away. You don't need to stand there and look at it the whole time. You better grow immediately. Oh, the rain's not going to come. Oh my God, the rain's not coming. Where's my bottle of water? Like, calm down. If you spent more time casting more seeds, you're going to have a way better crop than if you worry about exactly how that one landed in the crack of the dirt, but maybe a rock rolled over it, and maybe it's not going to be the right soil temperature. Just cast them. So, should we fear these times? Yeah. Fear is there for a reason. Now, there's different kinds of fear. Should you be in despair? That's there for a reason, too. If you're in despair, you need to hit the pause button. Get out a notebook and be like, why in the hell do I have despair? Oh, my life sucks. I don't know the Creator at all. I'm terrible. What do I do? In which case, you have let despair and fear actually adjust you. If you're wise, you'll be like, oh, what the hell? I need to, like, look. Oh, there's the answer. Let's go up that narrow path to this solution. Now it's functioned. You know, America's all about not being scared and not being uncomfortable and not hurting. But the best way to cure all these things is following the path out of the problem zone. If you're standing right next to a hornet's nest and they just keep stinging you, like, oh, it bit me. One flew in my ear. And you don't walk away from the hornet's nest. Right, we need to learn not to fear the hornets. It bit me. Oh, we need to learn not to feel pain. It's like, one's in my shirt. It's a hell of a lot more difficult to learn how to, like, ignore pain and just, like, believe that the wasp is not there than it would be just to walk away from the hornet's nest. Can you punch the hornet's nest? You could. I wouldn't do that, but you can try if you need to learn the hard way. Can you ram it with your face? Yeah. Be careful, though, man. Use common sense. Be careful. So don't slam your face into the hornet's nest of this world's problems if you don't need to. There's more intelligent ways. And just to give you the solution, come out of Babylon. come out of Babylon.